As we delve deeper into the logical reasoning behind the scientist's demise, we gain further insight into the enigmatic concept of the Night Country. Another character grapples with the loss of a family member, tragically by their own hand. It's time for us to dissect and analyze Episode 5, Part 5 of True Detective, Night Country. It's December 31st, the 14th day of the night, marking the first time jump of the show, with 6 days between this episode and the last. We are thrust into the cremation of Jules, a scene devoid of music, a creative choice that amplifies its intimacy. We witness Jules' transformation into ash, from her bones and skull to her name, birthday, and time of death engraved on the urn, all while her sister Navarro bids her final farewell. While I empathize with the characters, I can't shake the feeling that Jules' character arc could have been more impactful with deeper exploration, especially in her relationship with Navarro. The 6-episode format seems to have constrained character development, and Jules is no exception. The opening credits hint at a crucial meeting near the mines, with an SUV parked ominously nearby. Liz brings Zeus, now hospitalized and undergoing withdrawals, for questioning. With only 10 minutes and a directive to be gentle, Liz probes Zeus about his acquaintance with Clark. He mentioned being aware of the research lab but claimed ignorance about the men involved. Clark's interest in Otis revolved around how he survived his injuries, despite Otis himself questioning whether he truly survived given his appearance. The pressing question remains, why did Clark seek information about Otis' survival? Was he planning a similar act to the scientists, ensuring no survivors, or was there a deeper connection between Clark and the scientists? Otis fails to recall informing Liz of Clark's whereabouts in the Night Country, possibly attributing it to drug-induced responses from Episode 4 or a state of possession akin to Lewin in Episode 3. Describing Clark as crazy, Otis recounts instances where Clark claimed someone was awake and he needed to hide. Liz probes Otis about his past, particularly the events of 1998 involving a cave-in and a man's death due to exposure after a blizzard. Otis recalls hearing screams and following them, reminiscent of mythical tales of men lured by sirens. The mysterious scream echoes throughout the season, adding to the intrigue. Otis claims to have pursued the sounds but cannot recollect further, awakening in the hospital with injuries. Given Otis' history of addiction and rehab, doubts arise about the veracity of his account. Questions linger about his soul's survival and the fate of the other men. As Liz examines Annie's video, Otis warns her of the danger, emphasizing the need for a guide. Despite Liz's assurance of his involvement post-recovery, Otis hints at his dependency on drugs, urging Liz to procure them. Initially resistant, Liz's expression suggests a potential deviation from protocol, a familiar theme in her pursuit of justice. Navarro arrives to collect Liz, who notices the urn in the back and offers to discuss it, a gesture Navarro declines. At Peter's house, tensions rise as Kayla packs Peter's belongings, insisting he leave. Peter, feeling marginalized from his own family, protests, underscoring the familial rift. The stage is set for yet another character to suffer familial loss due to the ongoing case. Peter will soon face another permanent loss within his family. I've previously mentioned my view that the relationship between Peter and Kayla mirrors the underdeveloped nature of supporting characters, much like Jules and Leah. Every interaction between Kayla and Peter feels abrupt and rushed, lacking the organic flow of other storylines. It's puzzling to witness Kayla's resistance, given the urgency of the crime at hand. The pushback against Peter's involvement seems unwarranted, especially considering it's a one-time occurrence related to the case. Are others experiencing the same disconnect with Kayla and Peter's scenes? As Liz and Navarro proceed to the cave, situated on Silver Line Mines property, Navarro inquires about Leah. She mentions Leah's transformation into a radical figure, interrupted by Liz's acknowledgement of their shared trauma. Meanwhile, Leah and her girlfriend prepare for a rally with face paint. Arriving at the cave, Liz and Navarro find the entrance blocked, hinting at the mine's involvement. Frustrated, Navarro retreats to the car, highlighting the constant setbacks faced due to the mines. Peter seeks refuge at his father's house after being ousted, witnessing his father playing guitar, a sight unseen before. The lyrics, emphasizing disbelief in God and references to the Night Country, hint at Hank's impending downfall. The protest escalates, with Navarro intervening and encountering Annie K in a vision for the first time. As chaos ensues, Navarro confronts an officer, while Leah, calling out to her girlfriend, is left abandoned. Navarro steps in to assist Leah, sparking a confrontation with the officer. Meanwhile, Liz receives a call from Connolly about the furious Kate demanding her presence in the office. As tensions mount, the events unfold, setting the stage for the impending finale. Navarro contacts Liz to discuss Leah's situation. In the car, their first encounter unfolds, with Leah questioning Navarro's allegiances. Pressed by Leah about her lack of involvement in town affairs, Navarro delivers the grim news that Liz wants Leah detained. Briefly reflecting on Leah, it's evident that while her initial activism at the protest resonates, her overall demeanor becomes increasingly grating. Her failure to acknowledge Liz's assistance and her persistent attitude underscore the limitations of her character within the constrained 6-episode format. At the station, Liz interrogates Peter about Leah's protest attendance, unaware due to his recent eviction. While expressing sympathy, Liz learns of Peter's revelation about the LLC's ties to the Tuttles, who own the mines linked to the scientists. This revelation intertwines the Tuttles with the research, suggesting a broader conspiracy. Liz connects the dots, realizing the magnitude of the situation surpasses her initial expectations. Considering the Tuttles' history in Season 1 of True Detective and their pursuit of immortality, the mine's funding of life-extending research hints at a deeper quest for eternal life. The parallels with Season 1's spiral of corruption underscore the potential ramifications of the Tuttles' involvement in the current investigation. The quest for immortality adds another layer to the already intricate web of deceit and intrigue. The Tuttles believed their victims were sacrifices to draw them closer to the cosmic entity known as the Yellow King. 15 years later, they might have tasked scientists with unlocking immortality to reach the Yellow King, a pursuit likely selective to certain individuals. This connection resonates with SNA, the sea goddess ruling the Night Country, suggesting the Tuttles and scientists stumbled upon this realm with disastrous results. Leah and Peter converse, Leah reminiscing about the man she once knew. Foreshadowing her later actions, Leah urges Peter not to let Liz undermine their bond, hinting at her inability to protect loved ones. Meanwhile, Navarro and Liz discuss Leah's fate, underscoring Liz's tendency to shield Navarro despite their strained relationship. During a tense meeting with Kate and the captain, Liz uncovers connections between Silver Sky Mines and Annie K's murder. Kate confronts Liz about trespassing on Silver Sky property, hinting at her involvement in covering up incriminating evidence. Kate dismisses Liz's findings, attributing the deaths to a slab avalanche, mirroring the Dyatlov past incidents cover-up. Confronted by Kate's manipulation, Liz confronts the captain, who reveals the closure of the Wheeler case. Connolly pressures Liz to abandon the investigation, revealing his allegiance to Kate. Later, Kate coerces Hank into handling Liz discreetly, promising him the chief position in exchange for compliance. Despite Hank's reluctance, Kate asserts her authority, hinting at a deeper power play within the Tuttle family. As secrets unravel, Kate's role in Annie K's murder and Connolly's involvement emerge, raising questions about their true motives. The extent of the Tuttle's influence and the identity of Annie K's killer remain shrouded in mystery, highlighting the intricate web of deceit within the Night Country's shadows. I don't think he even knows about Annie K's death. He might, but when she mentioned that he's weak and a political animal, it suggests he's only privy to some of the corruption happening. We learn that Annie K was indeed killed in the mines, which were blocked off, yet evidence remains 6 years later. Hank was paid to cover this up. The files were kept at his house, and we later discover his role in Annie K's murder. Lastly, Kate wants Liz dead. Her demise is imperative, putting a target on Liz's back. Now, how much power does Kate actually wield? Is she merely a puppet or part of the Tuttle family? The big reveal of Kate's influence in the finale intrigues me. Moving on, Navarro finds a black hair in the washer, which vanishes, accompanied by distant screams. Kayla interrupts, concerned. There's speculation about Navarro being a killer, an intriguing plot point we'll delve into later. At the station, Navarro shares a potential cave entry method, but Liz insists it's over. Navro's resolve to uncover Annie K's truth clashes with Liz's plea to let it go, reflecting her personal stake in justice. Leah's release without Liz's consent underscores Navro's defiance, possibly symbolizing her internal struggle. Hank recounts Peter's near-fatal ice accident, aiming to reaffirm their familial bond amidst looming threats. As Navro and Rose scatter ashes, ominous signs suggest a storm looms. Navro's blackouts and recurring desert location hint at deeper connections, perhaps tied to her marine service and survival. Leah's story of grieving mothers hints at larger mysteries, while Liz's hope for her daughter's return underscores the personal toll of their pursuit. The narrative brims with unresolved threads, leaving audiences eager for the finale's revelations. I'd like to highlight Leah mentioning the 9 mothers, sparking speculation about their connection to the Mother of the Sea for revenge on their lost children. Meanwhile, Hank tails Liz to the grave sites of the unburied, including babies from mine-related deaths. This scene adds depth to Liz's motivation, resonating with her own loss and holding. Hank, motivated to solve the case, follows her, implying a connection to Annie K's murder. Liz, gathering drugs for Otis, notices Hank's presence but focuses on Peter, prodding him to ask about Wheeler's left-handedness. Peter uncovers tampered case files, hinting at Liz and Navro's involvement in Wheeler's death. Their tense exchange showcases Liz's trust in Peter, offering him shelter and fostering their complicated bond. Confronted by Hank, Liz maneuvers cautiously, attempting to defuse the situation. Otis's unexpected arrival escalates tensions, leading to a tragic turn as Hank, driven by jealousy, shoots him. Peter, torn between loyalties, ultimately chooses Liz, revealing Hank's culpability in Annie K's case. Hank's confession, while denying murder, hints at deeper involvement. As Navro arrives, a storm brews, both literal and metaphorical. Navro's swift action and Peter's compliance raise questions about their history and Navro's dual nature. The storm sets the stage for Liz and Navro's final confrontation, promising revelations about Clark and the scientists. Unanswered questions linger about Oliver, Jake, and Holden's fates, heightening anticipation for the finale. Reflecting on the episode's theme of family, the intricate dynamics between Liz, Peter, and Navro underscore the series' emotional depth. However, underdeveloped supporting characters, like Kayla and Leah, detract from the overall narrative. As the series progresses, unresolved threads and character arcs add layers to the story, culminating in a climactic showdown amid the storm's fury. The title, The Storm, captures the episode's turbulent events, inviting speculation and anticipation for the finale. I just wish there was more time to spend with these characters and even going back to the Peter and Hank relationship. The plot involving his fiancée being Catfish as of right now seems to be pointless now. I don't know what's going to be revealed if we get any more information in the finale, but if there is no resolution to if he was ultimate Catfish, those scenes could have been substituted with having more scenes between the father and son and making when he kills his dad more impactful too. Wrap up with my highlights of this episode. My favorite scene is the standoff at Liz's house. There was just so much great tension in that scene. The creepy or scared moment of the week. This definitely doubted back as far as a supernatural jump scares compared to the last few weeks, especially last episode. So by default, I guess the hair in the washer scene was the most creepiest scene in the episode, and as far as my favorite character goes, I really thought that Peter had his best episode the series so far, but I also want to shine a light on Hanking this episode again. Those lyrics to this song was just proof that he was just bound to lose and that ultimately he cut a deal with the devil. But he ended up dying at the hands of his son, the same son that he saved when he was little. So wrapping this thing up, if you all are still here watching at this point, again, thank you so much for the continued support. Do me a favor and put in the comments right now #bloodies. Blood again. I plan on making a couple more videos with theories, a trailer breakdown for episode 6, so make sure to join me same time, same place next week as we break down the finale, but even before then you all can join me right now Friday night for a live after show, as I'll be taking your live questions and sharing more of my thoughts and theories as we move forward to this finale. So again, make sure to leave all your thoughts, your theories, your deeper meanings in the comments below. You all are awesome, stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next